Chris?
My question to Cooley Frack.
Name and address, please.
Chris Nestor, Alex and Road, across kitty corner from here, from Laboose Pond. My question is, how long has Cooley Frack been in business to make these offers of what they're going to do, and what is the learning curve? How do you know what to expect if you've never done it before?
Did you ask this last night?
I know. I was.
You know, just so everybody understands, I'd like to give you a chance to voice your opinions on what didn't get answered last night. So if you asked the question last night, then please don't try to represent it tonight. What was that?
Chris was not.
Sure he was. He was right out. He was here. He was here.
For part of the time.
And why wasn't he in the building?
Yeah.
He had access to it. So
right.
That's a question that should have been asked last night. I'm sorry.
And I'll let it be. Would you like to field that?
Sure. Well, we had 2 hours of presentation last night.
Correct.
We asked at length people to come up to us. We stood there for another hour after the meeting.
Correct. Somebody else? Anybody else? Dave?
Dave Brown, Clare Road. Just wanted to get a little clarification. What was the quantity of sand that you folks said that you were going to be extracting over the 7 to 10 years?
4.2, 4.7 million tons.
Million tons. Okay. This is an article from the 9th District Federal Reserve Bank out of Minneapolis. Now you said that your sand is very high-grade sand. Is that correct? I believe you said that it was some of the highest quality sand that there is. Yeah. Okay. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, July 2012, high-grade frac sand commands a premium in the marketplace, $60 to $80 per ton, over 5 times the price of construction sand and gravel. Oil companies and oil field service firms can pay over $300 per ton for processed sand. Now, I believe that you folks said that your gross receipts for the entire project are $24 million. If you do the math, it's more like $225 million.
I'll respond to that.
Now, if that's the case, then what you presented last night was misleading. And I think that there's a matter of facts, like you said, Jeff, that we need to be certain of before anybody moves into the neighborhood to extract that type of money. And there's a lot of other articles, a lot of other comments that are put in here, and I did the math. I'm pretty good with numbers. And given the numbers that you folks said last night, there would be one truck approximately every 3 1/3 minutes for the entire day, for 10 months. That's simply the math. Math doesn't lie. Thank you.
Well, we were honest with you as far as the numbers. What you have to remember is, you know, we're not selling processed sand, we're selling raw sand. And
that's what this says. High quality raw sand.
Yeah, well, we're not, for raw sand, we've talked to some of the people that process the sand because it has to be processed with hydrocisers like what Frac Sand has up in Taylor. And the going rate that we found in the marketplace here locally is $6 a ton. And,
but you'd take contracts of higher amount, wouldn't you?
yeah, we would take.
Yeah, if you can get us a contract with that, we'll split the commission. No problem.
Anybody else like to have a comment? Bob?
A lot of people here last night. By the way, my name is Bob Arneson. I live over here on North Spain Road, right across from the school. A lot of you people left last night. We found some information, supposedly, under your windshield. That is a copy of an article published in the Dunn County News last week, off of their website. The person that copied that article cut out the picture of the guy that wrote it. And they penciled in facts and figures from the University of Wisconsin. That's a lot. The gentleman that wrote that article teaches school at Stuff. He's a self-proclaimed activist His major is in cultural anthropology. He spent the last 6 years in Central America doing research on biodiversity or whatever. On the university website, he lists 2 major concerns. The first one is frac sand mining in Wisconsin. Why, I don't know. The only thing he can reference in that page is an article he wrote back in June, again, for the Dunn County Daily News. So he has no expertise in sand mining. He listed that before he listed his own degrees on that page. So I agree with his opinion of himself as being an activist. But what I would like to tell you people tonight is what was in there was not true. He had his math wrong on employment figures, and it was not information from the University of Wisconsin. It was an opinion article written by, I believe his name was Thomas Pearson, and published in the Dunn County News. What you got under your windshield last night, somebody took his picture off, wrote in University of Wisconsin facts and figures to make you believe that the University of Wisconsin and the state of Wisconsin is against frac sand mining, and that's not true. The other point I have is I signed Tom Clark's petition. After I watched that presentation last night, I completely changed my mind. I see nothing wrong with putting this sand mine here in Town Franklin, Jackson County. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody? Yes.
This is going to be surprising, but completely not related to the sand mine issue with that. My concern, I guess, is what I heard earlier tonight in terms of communication with the town board. I've worked for county government for 20 plus years, and I've worked in positions where I don't always have people that agree with me or like what I've done or any of that, and I've often taken calls at home, and I've taken calls at work, frequently, daily. My question to you is, I can respect that you don't want to be badgered, and you want to have some downtime, and you deserve that. What can we expect in terms of turnaround time? When do you check this? I'm concerned if a lot of people are calling, how much that voicemail is going to take, what we can expect in terms of a standard for turnaround time, and what the communication will be back from you. Because what I saw last night was really an attempt to limit what really is what town boards and what Wisconsin is built on, which is really a very, very strong local government system where we all have that ability to get out and talk about issues and make our opinions known. So we've got to be able to do that, and we've got to have this expectation and a reasonable expectation that you guys will respond to our concerns. So what would be your standard in terms of turnaround? How often do you expect to be checking that?
I'll comment on that. On a situation like this where it's a highly public, our clerk will answer the phone every day if she has to. She will come in after she's done with her work and she will take messages. Hopefully we don't have this type of a crowd with these type of issues every day. But when something like this comes up, we can request Michelle to come in here every night at 5 o'clock and write down all the messages that are on the phone. The only reason that I said what I said is my daughter lives with us, and I had a couple people come to the door and were not very nice. Now, my daughter has absolutely nothing to do with the operations of the town of Franklin. My first response to anything is I protect my family. And I'm hoping everybody in this audience respects the protection of their own family on their own property.
Sure. And so
Okay, so that's why I brought up this comment. I don't want my family to be subjected to somebody that's got an attitude, and they're feeling all of a sudden scared at the door whether they should open it or not.
right, and I think the safety is a
Right.
concern, and I also
And I will make this
some
commitment.
downtime.
On any type of issue that's like this, feel free to call that phone number. I will have Michelle come in every night at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever night she's done with her work, and she will take and handwrite every message that's on that phone, and she can call me, and the next morning I will sit here from 8 o'clock until it takes me to get to the end of the list.
So 2 days max before
I'll do
you
it the
would
next
talk
day
to
if
them?
I've got the message.
Okay, all right.
And honestly, I can call in and check the messages, so even if there's a chance I can't make it here, I can at least
Yeah.
call in
And
and.
I appreciate, I guess, you know, in terms of where we are at in terms of technology today, I would appreciate having a town email system that we could, you know, not necessarily your personal email, but I would appreciate, you know, the setting up of a town email.
We've
That
had an
would
email
work for me.
system for many, many years here, just that nobody's ever asked for it. So it's open to anybody that wants it. They can email whatever they want.
And I think the other thing, just as a comment is, you have had a few negative responses, and I think as we talk about this issue, all of us have probably had some of those. But I think generally speaking, we have to remember that we are all well-informed, nice people. And so for the most
I've
part, you're
never
not
said
gonna
anybody
have.
hasn't been.
You're not-
You've all
you're-
been cordial, you've all been
Right.
receptive to the meeting.
And I think, I like to speak for myself too, so last night what I didn't appreciate was having to write things down and then having things paraphrased back to me. You know, I could have, I think, asked my question in a nice way, and I
Okay,
appreciate
that being said, I'll defend the town board. That was not our meeting last night. That was an informational meeting for Cooley Pratt.
I get that.
That was not our rules. Our rules are what's happening right now. I'm sitting here as town chairman, affording you the time to stand and present yourself. So,
Just one comment, when you do make phone calls, would kind of be a nice thing if you left your name by your phone number. You know, it's kind of hard to really give anybody any validity for their opinion when you don't know who it is. So I would suggest you always do that.